Notice the basin actually staying for the most part dry, especially here in Odessa Midland. Now, I've been watching what rain we've got even south of the border. We have those wind arrows pointing in from the southwest, pushing a lot of that moisture out of the way in slow motion here on this model. Now, nothing will be quite as windy as what we're dealing with today. We hit the ceiling on a lot of our wind speeds, 32 here for Odessa Midland. Bring us that rain, it really accelerated. Now it's coming through in the overnight hours. It's just not giving enough convection, not enough energy to really kick off any thunderstorms. But 72 and sunny, that's what you're looking at for Friday. It's a good compromise, I guess. As you can see kind of where that cold front is outlined right now. It hasn't made its way all the way down to the southwest just yet. And as it continues to push down to the southwest, 83% humidity, very, very muggy as you head outside in Odessa Midland. Get ready for a wall of water, basically. You could probably swim to work if you haven't gotten out to work yet. But I was a little bit worried about a little rotation earlier, but you know what? It looks like we're doing just fine. Even though those reds and greens are close to each other, that doesn't mean...
National High Five Day, in case you didn't know. Today is National High Five Day.
This guy.
I slapped his hand too hard earlier.
It's a little bit tingly.
It was on accident.
For $30, patrons can pick up a burger topped with a 100% real and oven-roasted zebra tarantula. Oh, man, I'm getting kind of queasy, but straight...
Welcome back. It's just before 6:30, and we love to celebrate local birthdays.
Yeah, I love those shoulder moves that you got going on over there. Yeah, there you go. Look at you. So all of these storms here, we've got one off to the north, this one right now making its way into Midland, another one making its way into Odessa. All of these are very powerful, nothing to mess around with. And again, we are under that severe thunderstorm warning for Glasscock and Reagan County. Actually, that one just popped up. That one is going to be expiring at 7 p.m. along with Andrews, Ector, Midland counties. That will be expiring again at 7 p.m. So we have a good half hour to go, and we're seeing even more storms beginning to pop up. Here's another one with even larger hail core. This one off to the south and east, 2.3-inch hail core. That indicates an extreme amount of energy. Now, we're not dealing with the threat of tornadoes, but we are dealing with high winds. We're dealing with lots of rain and, of course, hail falling from the sky. 2.5-inch hail could definitely cause some damage. Also, we're dealing with lots of rain, so flooding could potentially be an issue. If you see any puddles out there, definitely take the precautions there. Go around those. That's the best course of action. But if you have to go through it, proceed with caution, because you don't know how deep the puddles are until you get up into them. And by then, it could be too late. So, of course, the best action, go around. We're seeing lots and lots of storms beginning to pop up, making their way off to the east now.
Local 2 Weather Authority forecast with meteorologist Chase Menendez. He warns you first.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. We've made it to the weekend. Almost. We just have to get through today first. And it's going to be actually a pretty nice day. We've got a lot of positive changes coming our way. Temperatures, positive changes. Also picking up 5 degrees here for Odessa Midland, 6 for Pecos. But where we were seeing those thunderstorms earlier today, we've seen temperatures drop off in a pretty big way. Dryden down 14 degrees, kind of throwing off that average, but for the most part, temperatures in the 60s. Odessa Midland at 70 degrees, right on the nose. So there are a couple of those, and there's also a couple of 50s scattered all throughout. Hobbs at 55 degrees, looks like the cool spot. 58 for Seminole, all the way up to 75 down to the southwest in Presidio. So we've got a pretty big range of temperatures once again today. But you know what? As we get to this afternoon, that range will start to narrow out, and we'll start to see some really nice conditions. 80 degrees by 4 p.m. Mostly calm wind speeds, about 10 to 15 miles per hour, a tiny bit above average. But as these clouds get out of the way and lead us to a pretty clear overnight, temperatures will begin to drop off pretty quickly. That's going to lead us to kind of a chilly evening. So if you've got plans outside, especially this evening, definitely make sure you take a light jacket with you, something small just to keep you warm, because it can get a little bit chilly with those kind of temperatures. But we did see a little bit of rain here across the basin. We saw some of that down to the southeast as well. Terrell County, Dryden seeing some of that, along with Big Bend. Places like Marfa seeing some of that rain. But here in the basin, a lot of that's begun to move out already. Starting to see some real light showers earlier today just kind of dissipate as we go on closer to sunrise. Got what looks like a big band of rain headed from Monahans into Odessa Midland. Big Spring staying dry for the most part. But if you're driving along I-20, look out, you may see some puddles. But if you're driving along Highway 90, get ready to see some thunderstorms. We've got a couple of cells still popping up down to the south, moving off to the north and east. Not super powerful, not coming with any hail or anything like that, but we are dealing with some pretty heavy rainfall in some places, and that'll lead us to see some puddles across Highway 90, either off to the east and even within our viewing area. Highway 90 looking to be a little bit wet wherever you are. So if you're driving along that way, get ready because you could run into some rain. Now, as far as the rest of the day goes, notice this really well-defined line of clouds slowly transitioning down to the southeast, while what was off to the north and west of us, that low pressure really driving all these rain chances, that's pretty much out of the way, really diminishing in intensity, weakening very, very quickly. Now, that's going to lead us to see a pretty clear afternoon. Remember, these clouds just slowly tracking down to the southeast, getting out of the way, leading us to see a lot of sunshine. That'll help us warm up. That's pretty good news. But as we get into the evening hours, still clear skies. That'll help us stay pretty cool into the morning hours. Today, in fact, one of those days where we don't even have that marginal risk. Pretty much every day this week. We saw that at least in some of our counties, but today I think it's the first one that we're not dealing with that. That's good news. We don't have too much in the way of rain chances, but we did see some of that yesterday. We saw some of that today, this morning, but it's still pretty dry out there. We've got a lot of these burn bans staying in effect, especially in the basin and the higher elevations. Very dry conditions, humidity dropping down into the teens by this afternoon. In addition to that, we've got a lot of dry soil as shown on that drought monitor. 80 degrees, our high temperature for today. Tomorrow morning, 56 is the low, so that's pretty chilly, but we'll warm up to 83 by the afternoon. 89 on Sunday. Lots of sunshine on Sunday, and for the rest of the week, that sunshine, that's working magic on our high temperatures, really ratcheting them up into the upper 90s by Thursday. I'm scared of those triple digits.
Yeah.
Fox 24 News AM Live in HD.
Welcome back. Now, you might be familiar with chocolate-covered strawberries or maybe chocolate-covered pretzels. You've probably seen these. You heard about these. But how about a chocolate-covered highway? That's what happened to a town in Poland. They experienced that on Wednesday when a truck carrying 12 tons of liquid milk chocolate hit a barrier and tipped over. The spread was anything but decadent because it caused a huge traffic jam. Yikes.
Here's meteorologist Chase Menendez with your local weather authority forecast on Fox 24 News AM Live.
How about a little jam to go with that chocolate, huh?
Our producer Maria was so excited to find that story. She said, Loopy, it's a highway covered with chocolate.
Yeah.
Put it in the show.
You know, I thought I saw that one time, but it was a septic truck that tipped over. You know,
looks the same, but different smell.
Very different smell. Bow. He's got jokes. That's knee slappers all day. That's what we got going on. You know what else we got going on? Super toasty temperatures. Yep. Super high. I can't even come up with another word to describe it except toasty because that's the best word for it. Now, this morning we're actually a little bit cooler here in Odessa, Midland than we were yesterday. We're dropping off just by 1 degree, so a tiny, tiny bit cooler. But still, most of us are in the 60s, 70s for this morning. 69 for Odessa, Midland, 68 for Wink, 72 for Guadalupe Pass, and 79 for Presidio. Now, the sun's only been up for a couple hours, so to see temperatures near the 80s, that's pretty crazy. But by the time we get to this afternoon, the crazy doesn't stop there. 99 degrees is our high temperature. That's a big change over that low of 69. That's 30 degrees over where we are right now. Actually, that record set in 2010 is 99 degrees. So if we can warm up just a little bit more, we've got a good chance to break that high temperature record. Now, one of the things inhibiting us warming up is this moisture that we've got right here down in the southeast, this big pool. But by the time we get to this afternoon, that pretty much evaporates, moves down to the southeast, gets out of the way, leads us to see some pretty dry conditions here for Odessa Midland. 19% humidity, but that's nothing compared to Carlsbad at 4%. That is crazy, crazy dry. Now, in addition to that, we'll be seeing some pretty modest wind speeds, picking up to about 20, 25 miles per hour and staying that way even in the overnight hours. 99 are high with all that sunshine. So again, if those winds can calm down, if that moisture gets out of the way a little bit sooner, we've got a good chance to break into those triple digits today and break that high temperature record. Get ready for a warm evening too with those wind speeds sticking around. Now, with all those dry conditions and those windy conditions, super important to look out for any sparks, flames, cigarette butts, anything like that that can start a fire because today it likely will spread around pretty quickly. We've also got some very calm conditions going on in the upper levels of the atmosphere off to the north. We're still under the influence of that high pressure system, so that's really kind of keeping our temperatures ballooning upwards, keeping our skies pretty clear, even on satellite and radar, but it also kind of keeps
keeps away those rain chances. So unfortunately, we're not going to get too much to cool us off by the time we get to this afternoon. We've got some very clear conditions in store for us all the way through till about 4 or 5 p.m. Then we'll start to see maybe the chance for some very isolated showers. Remember, really hot air rises, and that rising air is what leads us to see those rain showers. So with all that rising motion, especially in the hottest areas, parts of the Trans-Pecos, that's where we're seeing the best chance to see some of those rain showers, potentially maybe even a thunderstorm or two sweeping down to the southeast. Here in the basin, unfortunately, looks like we're going to stay dry for at least today. But speaking of dry, very, very important, especially without all that rain, keep in mind that we've got a lot of burn bans staying in effect for today, especially at the county level. Now, the National Weather Service has not issued any kind of fire weather watches or warnings or anything like that. But again, if you're burning outside, you can land you a fine. So again, be careful with those sparks, flames, any kind of thing that can start a fire, likely will today. So again, look out for that. Now, for our temperatures, it's only going up. 99 degrees here for today, 100 degrees for Friday and for Saturday, and we may even break that high temperature record for today. Remember that. And in addition to that, 25, 30-mile-per-hour wind speeds today, lasting into the overnight hours and extending into tomorrow afternoon as well. So very windy couple of days, but I can only choose one word. I think hot just about sells it. We'll get kind of a cold front coming through on Sunday, kind of 93 degrees. I don't know what else to call it. A cool front. Warm-ish.
Some kind of cold front.
Some kind of cold front.